Micheal McNeil's description of the Scottish regimental paraphernalia at the tattoo.
This is a display, and it actually has a relevance to the tattoo. And the 4th Highlanders Battalion, Royal Regiment of Scotland, or 4SCOTS. The reason their ancestors, these are the 3 regiments that are the ancestors of the regiment. Seaforth Highlanders, who wear the Seaforth Mackenzie set kilt. The Gordon Highlanders, and I'm going by seniority.
And that's a World War II vintage, that one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's actually faded a bit, right? That's Gordon. Then the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders. And if you look here, you see each one has a different variation here. Red and green hose tops for the full dress, hose tops for the Camerons, red and white for the Seaforths, and red and black for the Gordons. Gordons also have the distinction of having black spat buttons in perpetual mourning for Sir John Moore.
Battle of Corunna, right?
The
1808.
retreat from Corunna.
Yep.
And they got their sporran. You see that the badge on that's different from that. This is actually an officer's one. Officers and NCOs wear that one. The ORs have a plain leather one with a brass cantle on it, and they have this badge on that right there. This is the day wear sporran badge. It goes on one of these. That's a sporran.
Now, any one of these regiments have the Sphinx for the
Exactly,
for their
right
badge?
there, the Gordon Highlanders.
Gordon Highlanders, right? That's from 1801, right?
Yes, the officers.
Alexandria.
The officers wear this as a collar dog.
Right.
Unless the ORs or other ranks wear the tiger Serenga Aputam. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
What is it again? What is it?
Seringa Aputam.
Oh, Seramgapatam. I pronounce it Seramgapatam, but you may be right.
And anyway, now
That's 1799, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
Sharp is at that one, right?
yeah. The Seaforths have the distinction of being one of 2 regiments that wear 2 collar dogs. And one of them is the elephant for essay, and this is the cipher of the Duke of Albany with the name of their regimental quick march, Aberfy. And that's the sporran badge for the Seaforths. The reason that comes from the the Earl of Seaforth's crest. So does the motto right here, Kadech in Rai. Means I don't even know if I'm
Help the king or save the king?
Help the king. He was, and the reason that was his motto was because the Earl of Seaforth saved the King of Scotland in the 1300s.
Yeah, it was a hunting expedition.
It was a stag.
And it was a stag that was going to get him or
hunting.
something?
The
Yeah.
stag charged him,
Yeah.
and the Earl saved him.
Right.
He killed the stag, and that's the ducal cornet, not a crown, a cornet of the Duke of Albany, and that is Prince Leopold's Duke of Albany's cipher.
Prince Leopold of
was
Belgium?
No, it's Prince Leopold of Germany.
Okay.
He was given the reciprocating title of Duke of Albany.
When, in the 1880s or something?
With Queen Victoria.
Queen Victoria's time, okay.
And the previous one had died. His line had died off, but they did have reciprocating titles. In fact, I've seen a picture of Prince Leopold in a Seaforth Highlanders colonel's uniform from before World War I. Unfortunately, all of the reciprocating titles were rescinded during the war.
Well, yeah, and they also had to change from Battenberg to Windsor, too. No?
It was Saxe-Coburg.
Saxe-Coburg, I'm sorry, Saxe-Coburg.
Saxe-Coburg Gotha.
Gotha, Saxe-Coburg Gotha.
Now, one of the contributing factors to that was the Gotha part of that. Because London was being bombed by
Gotha bombers, yeah.
Gotha and Staken bombers and the Zeppelins.
True.
We've made it a little bit awkward for them, the head of state, to have that name. And there was a Prince Charles Edward who took over the Archdukedom of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha before World War I and was made a German prince. Because Queen Victoria wanted to keep the holdings in Saxe-Coburg.
So all these regiments were combined together in 1990. Well, two of them were combined together in 1994.
Yeah, it becomes two because this regiment, the Camerons, and this regiment, the Seaforths, were combined to make the Queen's Own Highlanders in 1961.
Right.
And they used portions of both of the regiments. The musicians wore kilt in this tartan, Cameron of Iraq.
Right.
They wore trews in this tartan, Mackenzie Seaforth. I say Mackenzie Seaforth because the set is slightly larger than the HLI set. The set being right here.
And then to bring us up to date, the Queen's Own Highlanders and the Gordons are combined in 1994. And isn't their full title?
They became the Highlanders, Seaforths, Gordons, and Cameron.
Right. Seaforth, Gordon.
And that's because that's the order of seniority.
Right.
Because the Seaforths are senior to everybody because of the 72nd foot.
All right, that brings us up to date, and that concludes. No, one more item.
The Gordons are next senior in line for the 75th and 92nd.
1881, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders, even though it's a royal regiment, is not senior to those, 79th. And from 1881 to 1897, it was the only single battalion regiment in the British Army.
All right, I think that brings us up to date, right?
Pretty much.
All right.
2006, they were made into the Royal Regiment of Scotland.
Oh, yes, and that's why we have 4SCOTS now.
Yeah. But they're still proud of all three of those regiments.
They're still trying to cling on to the traditions.
The
all right.
Seaforths, though, here's one thing.
One thing? One more thing? All right.
See that elephant?
Yeah.
When they were stationed in Java in the 1820s and 30s, they adopted a pygmy elephant as a regimental mascot. In the 1880s, the Gordons adopted two tiger cubs as their regimental mascot because of that.
And what battle honor is that from?
That's from Seringa.
Oh, Seringapatam, right, okay. All right.
That's through the 75th Regiment of Foot, of 75th Highlander, or Stirlingshire Regiment.
All right, I'm going to run out of video here, I think, but that gives us a very good synopsis of the three Scottish regiments that are featured by the Highlanders in the tattoo.
The ancestors of the
antecedent regiments. All right, very good, very good. Give us a salute. Give us a salute at the end here. All right, there we go.
The longest way up, shortest way down.